election cycle, reviewing how the previous election was held, will help a lot in, first of all, addressing the shortcomings that were there in the past election or the preceding election. It will also address emerging issues that sometimes are raised by the petitions that follow. I remember in the Supreme Court case of the last election, the judges were advising certain measures that they think the IEBC should undertake. So this will be the appropriate avenue and forum, this avenue of review. And so I believe that looking at what the Secretary may have done, because some of the areas of review will be administrative, I believe I'll look for the reports already of activities that are taken by the Secretariat, and from there engage them more and implore upon my commission to fast forward or make it a priority such review before the next election.
Now, we are looking at your CV, and you are the Deputy President of FKF. For how many years?
That is 2012, 24 years, say 5 years.
Okay. So at some point, I remember the FKF president was suspended from office.
Not in my time, sir.
Not in your time?
Not in my tenure.
Okay. So how can that experience or that experience at FKF be of benefit to you, if given the position of chairperson of IEBC?
Thank you. Chair, it was an opportunity of service when I was the Deputy President of FKF. We were serving Kenyan football. Kenyan football has many players, not the football players, but stakeholders. You find big corporates there like the Kenya Police, they are there. Institutional, the KDF are there, they have teams. We have big corporates like breweries, they are there, they have a team. KCB are there. And you go all the way to the ordinary fan and also the players themselves, who are the real men and women of the game, or boys and girls of the game. So when we are managing the country's football, one, we were looking at developing the sport throughout the Republic of Kenya. So we are able to reach out the rest of many parts of Kenya, and I know many parts of the country. So I believe it will also help me in my IEBC role by knowing several areas of Kenya. Two, there are many relations that come in the sport, from sponsorships to international cooperation, such as the FIFA body, which is an international body, and also various countries that come and play or engage with Kenya. And in fact, just to refer to my CV, that's some of the reason why I was motivated to go and do my master's in international relations at the USIU as soon as I left the FKF Deputy President. So, in essence, the role of a Deputy President of Football Kenya Federation is a role that offers leadership to the country. It also matters a lot because these teams represent our country, our image there. So I know about our image, our country's image as Kenya. And every role I'll take up in future, I'll always have the image of my country coming forward, at least for the flag of our nation. So with that national role, I believe in the IEBC role, I can fit in because I know what is the best interest of Kenya, and especially I need to make the Kenyan name, especially in democratic practices, as a leading name. Just like you aspire in sports to be also a leading sports nation. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Wish you well. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you.
Next is James Evans Misati, and he will ask you some questions.
Very well, Chair.
Thanks so much, Chair. Robert,
yes.
You have said you have had experience in managing football, and now you are coming to a totally different field of elections. From your explanation, you have also said about the voter registration where you participated in petitioning IEBC. What are the provisions in law, or which section of the law talks about the continuous voter registration, and why is it not? Why is the voter registration not ongoing as we talk?
Thank you. Under the IEBC Act, I think it could be section 7, but I'm not sure of the exact section. Although I believe that those are matters one can easily refer to. We know where to find such provisions. But the challenge of the continuous voter registration, I think I've already mentioned a bit, has been financial support or the financial deficit within the IEBC because of budgetary support that comes from the Treasury a bit belatedly. And as I said, the challenge has been that most of the work of IEBC is targeted at the crucial hour, the 11th hour, where now every funding is easily available. But I believe that with a commission determined to improve such key mandate of continuous voter registration, which is a dictate of the law, and also by the fact that we need to have as many Kenyans, especially the young ones and those who have attained the age of majority, participate in their democratic role. We need to prioritize that continuous registration exercise by lobbying for not just adequate funding, but time-mass funding. Equally, within the IEBC schemes of work, they can prioritize that agenda and also prioritize the financial. When you have the financial passes, they can play the deliberate measure of prioritizing it.
Maybe you need to check your facts right, because you said you had petitioned the IEBC. If you petition them, you should be able to be aware the provisions that are making the registration not to be ongoing. But nevertheless, check your facts, because there are other issues which have made the voter registration not to go on, not the financial issues.
Okay, I can add more of those. Maybe some of lack of the absence of the commission since 2023. But I welcome your view, sir.
The other thing I'll ask, assuming you find favor in this panel and you are the chair of IEBC, please mention to us some of the priority actions that you will take in preparation to the 2027 general elections.
Thank you. Chair, my first priority will be the gaps in law. For example, we need to have the regulations quickly come in place for the Election Campaign Funding Act. Equally, I would like to prioritize in that regard of law reform. We totally don't have the Referenda Act, nor do we have even regulations to it. I'd like that to be prioritized. Thirdly, I'd like us to prioritize the cleaning up of the voter register and registration of voters. And also, I would like us to have the question determined of the long outstanding component of boundaries delimitation.
Thanks so much. I wish you well.
Thank you, sir.
I will ask Mrs. Fatuma Saman to also ask you some questions. Kindly, Fatuma.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Asembo, IEBC partners with the stakeholders like the civil society, the media, are interested group in conducting civic education. However, at times there is the risk of some of them running a partisan narrative or taking advantage of that to attempt to dominate the process. As the IEBC chair, how would you ensure that the Commission maintains neutrality and accuracy during this process?
Thank you, Madam Fatima. First of all, the mandate of the IEBC is hinged on certain principles, such as fairness, neutrality, to be a neutral arbiter. And so, in the training programs or in stakeholders who support training programs and civic education, I think in our terms of engagement, we'll first have to also illuminate upon them the mandate of the IEBC and the principles that govern the workings of the IEBC. So sometimes you need to engage those who are coming to help you to understand who you are, where you are, and where you want to go, so that they support you better. Two, in developing whatever training materials, I believe the Commission will play its role in contributing to the content and also the overall exercise of the dissemination approach of the materials. So I believe with those two measures, will ameliorate or at least mitigate on will be biases or other interests beyond the mandate of the IEBC.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, too.
Okay, next I will ask Nicodemus Bore to ask you some questions around leadership. Yeah, thank you.
Very well, sir.
Thank you. And Chairman Assemble, we understand that you have been the chair of the Secretary General of FC Leopards.
Secretary General of FC Leopards 2009 to 2011 and FKF Deputy President 2011 to 2016.
Okay. And being a leader at that status of AFC Leopards as a community football team and a national one, one should be able to understand both your own emotions and the emotions of the people that you manage. So, based on your self-awareness, what are your key emotional strengths?
Thank you. I believe, first of all, listening, and two, I take interest in what whoever I'm interacting with wants to say or how they want to react, so that I give always a balanced reaction. And I believe in fairness and also courtesy.
So, follow up on that. In 2022, late November, there was an altercation between you and a person in court.
Yes.
And if there was a boxing contest, I think you won.
Thanks for the humor.
So, will you say you are in touch with your emotional ability to control yourself?
Yes, I'll address that issue. Thank you for bringing it up. First and foremost, I apologize that the media put it out of context. I was within the court corridors outside chamber number 24 with my client, who was the estranged wife of the defendant. So while we were waiting for our matter to be quite, it was a children matter, it's a sensitive matter, family matter. So prior to that, I had, out of executing court orders, I had jailed the defendant for failing to support his children. So I think he was bitter. So he took that opportunity to, first of all, attack the lady. And I came in just to prevent that, to stop him. And then he turned on me and attacked me. So it was a human reaction of perhaps self-defense. And we reported the matter with the Judiciary Police Unit, and the necessary legal avenues took charge. So I wouldn't say that for 22 years I've been going to court, I've never had an altercation in court. So that was an unfortunate incident, but caused by this particular litigant. And litigants should know that we advocates, we are not the parties to the case. We are just there for an important role to serve the justice ends. So I believe that advocates, well, in court, can suffer such occupational hazard, just like sometimes the police also get to suffer such occupational hazard. So in fact, if there was proper context of media reporting, I was the victim rather than the assailant.
Okay. And are you aware of any warrant of arrest that has been issued by the Kibera law courts?
I'm not aware.
Okay. That's okay. Secondly, we have received a lot of memorandum affecting talking about your leadership skills and your integrity. One among them is that during your tenure as a FKF vice chair, there was a lot of. Can you highlight a few issues on that and maybe bring to the public what really transpired?
Thank you. I believe that was a misconception. We never faced any accusations of misuse of funds. The funds we receive are always accountable. If there are FIFA funds at FKF, we account them per FIFA standards. They send international auditors, and FIFA would actually take sanctions against an official who misappropriates such funding from FIFA, including being banned from football-related activities as one of their sanctions. I have never been banned, and none of my office colleagues at the time has ever been banned. Equally, if it is government support, the ESCC and other relevant bodies will have handled such, and we've never faced such questioning over the funding in our time. So I believe those are misconceptions, and misconceptions also abound out there. Until you give us such opportunity to clarify, some of us will just get condemned and heard.
Chair, and maybe a follow-up question on that. The position you are seeking is the position of a chair. And as I'll quote what Adams Law kept saying, you're supposed to be as mweupe kama pamba. Have you ever been convicted?
I faced a criminal charge, but I am exploring the relevant legally available avenues, especially of appeal, and the matter I think should be sub judice. We had a court session on Monday. It's coming up again, so I believe we should leave it as sub judice, so it's not true.
Chairman, thank you very much.
We are not discussing the merit of the matter. The question was a yes or no.
And I've answered that it's subject to appeal, Chair.
So have you been convicted or not convicted on a criminal matter?
It is challengeable, Chair. The conviction is challengeable because it was on appeal, and I don't know how it will come out.
So you have been convicted?
I wouldn't say so, Chair.
Okay, please.
Maybe I give an example. Honorable Ferdinand Waititu is convicted. True or false?
Yes.
Has he put an appeal?
I have not followed up, but
Yes.
I think he's in jail.
So you have put an appeal?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and the conviction was under which section of the Penal Code?
313.
Okay, thank you. Professor, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. Bwana Sembo, just following from Bore and Chair, as you have told us, this position of Chair and IEBC generally, there's a trust deficit. And therefore, the selection panel puts a lot of premium on integrity. Questions have been raised on your conviction. Kenyans out there, what do you tell them? Given you have appealed, yes, but there's a conviction on record. What do you tell them on your integrity so that as we consider?
I'll tell them that under the rule of law, we give room to the courts and the parties before them to exploit the full recourses of law, and it's a fair process that way. It's in the interest of justice, and in the best interest of justice, we need to allow the law to take its course.
Thank you. Along the same line, are you the occupant of flat number A5, third floor, Block A, Village Plaza Ngala, LR number 209/148/11?
I'm not the occupant, but I list for my younger brother, whom I'm rehabilitating over some drug abuse.
So you have a lease agreement with the owners?
Correct.
Are you in any arrears?
Yes.
Has an eviction notice been given to you?
Not.
Okay. Maybe just one last question. As chair, or in your past positions, can you tell this committee when your position in leadership was ever challenged on issues of personal integrity, honesty, and how did you address or navigate over the same, if any?
There has never been.
Can you tell this panel at least 2 experiences where external political or financial pressure challenged your professional values and how you handled them?
I have never had such occasion.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Yes, Bwana Tanui, FCPA.
Thank you, Chair. Something related to what Prof. and Bore raised. I was looking at the certificates of Bwana Sembo, and one of the documents in that folder is a letter from Law Society of Kenya. And it's called Certificate of Good Standing.
Yes.
Dated 20th of March.
Yes.
Which must be last week.
Yes.
And it is signed by Mr. Mwavi M. Kitonga.
Yes.
And it tells us that from your documents that there are no complaints nor past complaints with regard to Mr. Sembo.
Yes.
But from your end, we want to hear from you. Have you had any complaints before registered with the LSK with regard to your, with you being a lawyer and an advocate of the High Court?
I have had complaints from the Advocates Complaints Commission.
Not LSK.
Not LSK.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have a council member here, Linda. Would you like to ask some questions, kindly?
Chair, thank you. Now, Council, usually, you know, the Advocates Complaints Commission, they work hand in hand with the Disciplinary Tribunal,
Yes.
the DTC of the Law Society of Kenya. And now the Law Society of Kenya...
The ADT, the Advocates Disciplinary Tribunal, right?
It's the DTC, the Disciplinary Tribunal, under the Law Society of Kenya, which works hand in hand with the Complaints Commission.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And where prosecution of matters of discipline or indiscipline against advocates are heard by the Disciplinary Tribunal. Now, please confirm to this panel whether or not you have disciplinary cases before the Disciplinary Tribunal of the Law Society of Kenya.
As I have said, I've had cases from the Advocates Complaints Commission, and I know that they may end up at the Advocates Disciplinary Tribunal.
Counsel, you know, you said you like fairness.
Yes.
Now, the Law Society of Kenya, through their letter dated 17th of March this year, I have presented 5 open cases against you for different disciplinary issues as an advocate of the High Court, 2 of which have been settled. Are you aware? Yes or no, Counsel?
I'm not aware.
Okay. There is a DTC case, disciplinary tribunal case, number 345 of 2023. The nature of the complaint is dishonorable conduct. That matter is open for hearing. Are you aware?
If it has not been heard, I'll pursue the hearing date, and then I'll be more aware, Madam Vice Chair.
Counsel, are you aware? Is a yes or no?
I have not been invited to hearing, Madam.
Is this a 2023 matter, Counsel?
I have not been heard on it.
Okay.
I emphasize that I have not been heard on it.
You also have another disciplinary case, number 392 of 2023, in which the nature of the complaint is withholding clients' funds of up to 1.85 million. Are you aware, Counsel? Is a yes or no? It's an open matter before the DTC.
Who is the complainer of the party?
That has not been disclosed.
Okay.
But this is a matter of 2023.
I am not aware.
You're not aware. This DTC number 312 of 2024. The nature of complaint, similarly, is improper handling of clients' funds. Are you aware, Counsel?
No.
You're not aware of any of
No,
these
I've
cases?
not been served with any.
Thank you. Thank you, Counsel.
Secretariat, kindly take a copy of that letter from Kitonga. Mwathi Kitonga,
20th March.
The one of 20th March, because this is also signed by the same name. So we would like to be able to corroborate whether it's us who have gotten a wrong address and signature, or it is you who got a wrong address and signature. Because the same person cannot write 2 letters, one to you and one to us. And if that is so, then it means that then the entire LSK has issues. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I got mine from her, from the signee.
Chair, with your permission, and not to seem to assist the candidate, but maybe because some of these facts are well within my knowledge, the certificate of good conduct has been, I believe, issued because the matters are still pending. The other two have already been settled. So, you know, the right to fair hearing must be accorded to counsel. Until then we cannot be able to interfere with his issues of good conduct or no good conduct. So he has to be given the right to fair hearing before the disciplinary tribunal.
Okay.
And I believe that is the reason why they have written to the Ms. Mwanthi Gitonga is the compliance director at the Law Society of Kenya. So she's the one who has issued that good conduct, basing on the fact that there's no conviction of the candidate before us. But for purposes of the details of whether or not there are matters before the DTC is the reason why we have this letter of 17th of March, 2025.
And to be fair to me, I'm not aware, I've not been heard, so I'm not been communicated to.
Okay. Yes, Counsel.
Chair, thank you very much. Do I understand that among the disciplinary matters, there are two that have been settled that you said you are not aware of?
Yes.
If they have been settled and is not aware of, with whom were they settled?
Maybe the complainant withdrew, you never know. People can file and then withdraw. Maybe.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, yes, Bore?
Bwana Asembo,
Yes.
now that with all these cloudy things around your head, do you think you still want to serve as the chair of IEBC?
Yes, indeed, because those are accusations which will have to be determined and concluded, and my innocence, once proved, will be it. So it has nothing to do with this job, because until they convict me in those regard, then I think I'm still innocent. And I still have my right to earn a living, to serve Kenya, to reach my ambitions, to reach my goals. Most of you could also have had cases here or there, but it doesn't mean that it affects your leadership role.
That's why we did not apply for IEBC chair.
Maybe you'll apply for other jobs, maybe.
Okay, I would like to ask Carol to weigh in, and she's here.
Without looking like I'm reopening the issues that we have against you, there's something that is yet not clear to me. There is an allegation here that you've been accused of forging court documents over minor in a children's court matter. Are you aware of that? What are the circumstances?
I saw that, in fact, the only memorandum that I was forwarded to by the commission, and the person writing is the defendant in the matter. And in the matter, which is about his children, he's the same man who was attacking me in the court precincts. Equally, as advocates, we don't produce documents. We are given documents by our clients. And lastly, I've not heard of a forgery complaint anywhere else. So these are the kind of memoranda that are malicious and vexatious.
Is it a normal issue of practice that an advocate, and I'm speaking this from my own experience as well, of being an advocate, that an advocate can be accused of forging documents? Now that given you're saying that the documents obviously do not come from you, they come from the client. You are basically representing your client's interest. It seems that there is a prolonged silent issue that I cannot understand what it is between yourself and this particular client, or is it defendant in the matter?
Yes, and I want to say that we represent our clients, The case for forgery has not been reported anywhere. It is just in that allegation. It's just in that letter. It has not even been raised before the court, the children court. And I was just answering generally that this is about documents. The documents will come from my client. So it's my client who should have been accused of forging documents, not me.
Thank you, Chairman.
And that's why I'm saying it must be out of malice or vexation. And as I said earlier, it's the same defender whom we jailed for not supporting the child. So there must be some bitterness from him. And the children case is the same one that is stated there.
Okay, Professor Adams?
Yeah, Vanasembo, I'm impressed by your enthusiasm for the job. I'm quite impressed. But tell this panel and Kenyans why, where we have other candidates without integrity issues, and let's assume hypothetically that we have performed well as them, why we should choose you over them. You have a conviction and a sentence that you have appealed. It can go either way. You have arrears in a building in which you have a lease agreement where the owner both wants to be paid and is also seeking an eviction. You have a situation, as Bore says, where you flawed somebody. Of course, you are disputing, but the incident is there. You have an accusation in a child case. Of course, you are disputing the facts. If we were to make you the chair of the commission, and then one of those cases succeeds, of course, you know the country would have to seek another chair. I just want you to explain to the selection panel and the chair why we should take that risk, because they are pending issues.
Yeah, for me, I believe in the rule of law that you cannot condemn me. The commission will be condemning me if they consider those issues which are pending and are unresolved. So all issues...
But the conviction is already in place.
No, it is the...
Judgment was delivered on 23rd, is it 25th January?
23rd January?
Yes.
And I'm saying it's subject to the High Court, which we are before the High Court on Monday, and we still have a date before the High Court. So I will say that the decision of the Commission, looking at those issues alone, will be condemnatory. It will not be fair and just, because those issues can be resolved, and you say if they are resolved in my positive way, so when the Commission have lost maybe my value, and if I lose the position and I succeed in those issues, is in my loss irredeemable? Yeah.
Do you understand the essence of Chapter 6 in the Constitution?
I will not have another chance. Yeah.
Do you understand the essence of Chapter 6 in the Constitution?
Very well, sir.
Talk to us about it in regard to the things that Professor is asking you.
It's about leadership and integrity.
Do you have self-leadership?
Yes.
This is the essence why I asked you the question about the values you learned from Starehe. And yes, you said we learned. I was trying to appreciate how an old boy of Starehe Boys Center and School can have such allegations against his head. Because when growing up, we all aspired to be an old boy of Starehe, and we didn't. And looking at these documents, it does appear that this panel is forced to make a decision not based on the presentation you have made, but on the presentations that we have received in terms of memoranda, which either you have declined, that you are unaware, you have said you have a conviction and you are waiting for an appeal. I don't know whether there's a stay or not on that matter. There are Kenyans who are complaining that you have not paid them their monies. So if we were to make this decision, don't you think that we will be in gross violation as a panel of Chapter 6 of the Kenyan Constitution?
I do not think so, Chair, because there are allegations that need to be convincing, and also I am controverting. So you have to be fair to both my accusers and me also. I think you are a fair panel. You consider also me the accused.
Okay. Yes, Carol.
Chair, allow me just one more issue on this issue of the warrant of arrest that has been issued against you. It was issued on the 4th day of April 2023. I don't know if it's a civil warrant of arrest in a civil date. What is the status on this matter? Have you settled the decreto amount?
Which case with the particulars?
It's the Chief Magistrate Court at Milimani, Chief Magistrate Commercial Suit number E135 of 2021, where Prestige Management Valuers Limited complains against you, Robert Assemble.
Okay, I will say that the matter was settled amicably.
Do you have anything to...
I can provide.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, do you have something to follow up? Koki?
No, Chair, now that you have given me the opportunity, I wasn't going to say anything, but I thought it is exactly the same matter I denied that he is unaware of, that he settled. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Prof, your final 2 questions, please.
Thank you very much, Bwana Assemble.
Yes, Professor.
Who has served as the Secretary General of AFC Leopards in Gwe, and has also been the Deputy, is it FKF Chairman?
FKF.
Tell me 2 former presidents of the Football Federation of Kenya, by whatever name, in the 70s and 80s, who were once cabinet secretaries and principal secretaries and also served as Kenya Football Federation chairman.
I'll start with Kenneth Stanley Njindo Matiba and Job Henry Omino.
Who was elected president of Senegal in 2024, becoming one of Africa's youngest leaders?
I can't give the name. Sorry, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bwana Akumu. Allow me to thank you for your time, for indulging us this time to interact with you, to get to learn, to hear, and we have learned a lot from you. We wish you well in this endeavor. I would like to welcome you to ask a question or make a comment kindly.
Thank you. First of all, my comment is to the many Kenyans who have come to my inboxes, congratulating me for being considered for this position and for the awards of encouragement and prayers. And secondly, to the Commission for digging deep about me. And I urge that you will be fair and considerate in your overall assessment of me. I trust in the panelists. I believe despite the allegation and accusations, you will employ the fair referee rule and you'll hear my defenses also. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Feel free to pick the notebook. It's yours. There's some water in front of you. You can also pick it.
Thank you very much.
Remember to pick your certificates kindly.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you. Okay, members of the Fourth Estate, we'll break here for lunch. And the friends of our candidate, thank you very much for coming in and for being part of the audience. We appreciate you being around. Thank you very much.
Haya! ikoretwo ĩ thabarĩ nene na rĩu Mawega Lands Limited nĩ ĩkinyĩtie mĩaka 20 ya gũcenjia akombori ĩkamatua malandlords. Nĩ tũragũcokeria ngatho we customer witũ tondũ we nĩwe ũtũmĩte tũkinye hau tũgakiuga Ngai akũrathime mũno. Reke tũgĩthiĩ na mbere na ũnyitanĩri mwega na wagũra mũgũnda gũkũ gwitũ tũgakũhe title.
Ũhoro makĩria tũcerere Kasarani nyũmba-inĩ ya Max Plaza, third floor, opposite Kasarani Police Station. Kana ũhũre thimũ 0798 555 444.
It's Mawega at 20.
Mawega Company Limited, celebrating 20 years of turning tenants into landlords.
He marĩtwa makwa njĩtagwo Peter Ndonga na ndĩ ũmwe wa arũgamĩrĩri thĩinĩ wa Mawega Company Limited, ambapo Mawega Company Limited nĩ kambuni twakĩte na mũthingi wa Ũkristiano ĩrĩa tũra celebrate mĩaka 20 thĩinĩ wa mwaka ũyũ. Twĩna gĩkeno kĩnene tũgĩkwĩra twĩna project twĩnayo gũkũ rĩu tũrĩ kũndũ gwĩtagwo Matu. Matu mũgũnda ũyũ witũ kuma taũni-inĩ ya Matu nĩ ndagĩka 5 ũkorwo gĩkinya, na kuma Thĩka nĩ ndagĩka 30, na kuma Nairobi gũka gũkũ nĩ 1 hour. Kĩoguo tũgakũria we mũigithia wĩ hau, na rĩngĩ nĩ ũkoragwo ũkĩona mbeca kuma 10,000 nginya 15,000. Kũndũ kũrĩa kwega gwa kũigithia nĩ kũndũ gũkũ gũgwĩtwo Matu. Mũgũnda ũyũ witũ tũrawendia 280, na nĩ mũgũnda wĩna mabataro marĩa mothe binadamu endaga: thitima, maĩ, mathukuru, mabarabara, kĩndũ gĩothe nĩ kĩega. Kĩoguo tũgakũria hĩndĩ ĩrĩa andũ mathiaga hĩndĩ ĩrĩa maragũra mũgũnda wa 280, ũkoraga kũndũ kũrĩa maragũra nĩ kũndũ kũraihu rĩngĩ na gũkũ guo Malindi, Anyanyuki, Naikuru, na handũ haha ũngĩrora distance ya kuma Nairobi gũka haha nĩ 1 hour, nĩ handũ ũngĩũkaga na ũgacoka ũgathiĩ Nairobi na ũgakorwo ũgĩka maũndũ maku. Kĩoguo nĩ tũrakũria nĩ wega ũngĩkorwo wĩ mũndũ wĩnake gũkũ guo Kenya, oke one nĩ kũ tũrakwenderia na nĩ kũndũ ũngĩgũra ona ũngĩkorwo ũtegwaka ndagĩka ĩno, ihinda rĩa mĩaka 2-3 wone buroti ĩno wamĩgũra 280 nĩ ũkamĩendia kuma 300,000 kana ciringi 400,000. Kĩoguo rĩrĩ nĩrĩo ihinda rĩega rĩa kũigithia. Nĩ tũrecokia ngatho gwĩ customer citũ iria ciratwĩrire nĩ cikwenda mũgũnda gũkũ guo Matu, na tũkamera nĩ ngatho tondũ nĩ maragũrire kwa ũingĩ, na tũgakĩmera buroti itirĩ irathira no citigarĩte ingĩ, na tũima haha rĩu tũgũcoka tũthiĩ mũgũnda wa phase 2 ĩrĩa arĩo tũkwendia 200,000, naguo no mũgũnda wĩ handũ hega o ta ũyũ. Kĩoguo kahinda gaka ngũhe mwenzangu nake akĩarie o kaũndũ mũndũ ũgwĩtwo Mr. Jenga. Asante.
Wega mũno Mr. Ndonga. Wĩ mwega mwĩroreri wa Wega Digital. Marĩtwa makwa njĩtagwo Paul Jenga na ndĩ ũmwe wa arũgamĩrĩri a Mawega Company Limited. Tũkoretwo kuo mĩaka 20 na tũgaceto family 22,000 o mũndũ gwake handũ atarorio nĩ mũndũ ena title yake na mekuna ciana ciao na athuri ao na atumia ao. Tũgakenera Ngai nĩ ũndũ wa kũruta wĩra ũcio hatarĩ ngucanio thĩinĩ wa family icio ciothe, gũtirĩ mũndũ tũragucania nake. Mwĩhoko mũnene wa kambuni ĩno ya Mawega Company Limited nĩ kũhotithia mũndũ wa kĩrathi gĩa thĩ ũrĩa atarĩ na mbeca eyonere kĩndũ gĩake, na nĩkĩo tũkoretwo tũkĩhe andũ mwaka ũmwe ploti citũ kũrĩha, na ũrĩa ona waremwo nĩ mwaka ũmwe tũkamũhe ona mĩaka 2, tondũ bata witũ mũnene mũno nĩ mũndũ wothe gĩre na kĩndũ gĩake. Tũkĩrĩ na mĩgũnda kũndũ kũingĩ, nĩ mũgũnda ũmwe werĩa twĩ nayo gũkũ nĩ Matu, o toguo mbona ndongaiga ndigũcokera, no twĩna mĩgũnda ĩngĩ kũndũ gũgwĩtwo Kamuru, twĩna mĩgũnda ĩngĩ kũndũ gũgwĩtwo Malaa, ona twĩna mĩgũnda ĩngĩ kũndũ gwĩtagwo Koma Hills, na rĩu ningĩ tũranjia tiga buroti, tũranjia gũcenjia andũ warĩkia kũgũra buroti gũkũ ũgacoka ũkagĩa na gĩcagi kwanyu. Twĩna mĩgũnda ĩngĩ mwena wa Nyahururu, ĩyo tũmĩthimĩte ĩka na nuthu ĩka, na twĩna mĩgũnda ĩngĩ Sagana, ona tũgagĩthima ĩ hakuhĩ na bara. Mĩgũnda itũ yothe mĩaka ĩyo 20 tũkoretwo twĩ biacara-inĩ, tũtirĩ twagũra mũgũnda gĩthaka-inĩ, tũgũraga mũgũnda kũndũ gwakwo nĩ andũ na kũndũ mũndũ angĩka immediately. Ũngĩrora haha tũrĩ nĩ ũkuona nĩ kũndũ kwĩna mĩciĩ na nĩ kũndũ kwĩna indo ciothe. Mĩgũnda itũ yothe kũrĩa ĩhana Kamuru, Malaa, Koma Hills, Sagana, Nyahururu na handũ hothe twĩna mũgũnda tũrendia, twambaga kũrora ka handũ hau no tũhote gũikara ho ithuĩ enyewe. Twambaga kwĩĩkĩra kĩratũ kĩu, korwo nĩ ithuĩ tũrenda kũgũra no tũgũre ta hau. Ũguo tũtigũraga mĩgũnda ũguo bũgũtharĩ, na tũtigũraga mũgũnda wa gweterera atĩ ũgaka thutha wa mĩaka 20 kana ũgaka thutha wa mĩaka 10. Nĩ tũramenyaga andũ arĩa tũrandili nao nĩ mũndũ turning tenants into landlord, mũndũ nĩ gũkombora akomborete nyũmba, ũguo tũtingĩmwenderia handũ egweterera mĩaka 2 kana 3. Tũmwendagĩria handũ mũndũ angĩgũra na aroke gwaka. Ũguo karibuni sana, mũcere mĩgũnda-inĩ itũ nĩ free, kuonania mĩgũnda itũ nĩ free. Bata no ũke kuma Jumatatũ nginya Juma, from Monday to Saturday. We woka hatirĩ ciũria nyingĩ no gũgũtwara, na tũtietagĩrĩra andũ maingĩhe. We wakinya kana we wiki, no ngari itũ tũgũkuoya na tũgũtware kũrĩa mĩgũnda ĩrĩ. Karibu wĩgĩre nawe gacunjĩ ka bũrũri ũyũ na wehere ũkombori-inĩ ũtuĩke mwene indo. Karibuni sana.
Asante.
Mawega Company Limited, celebrating 20 years of turning tenants into landlords.